Greetings to my friends throughout India and overseas. I'm doing this short video to share an insight into religion. But my broad title is Religion and Science. We are used to thinking of religion and science as two incompatible things. But I see a lot of similarities between the two, particularly in relation to how people make use of both. I want to suggest to you, for your continued thought, reflection, and analysis, that the way people use religion is similar to the way people use science. Science is used by various people in various ways to various purposes. There is no one consistent use of science. Let's consider some examples. If you ask an industrialist, he would say science is a wonderful thing. Science is the engine of progress. But what is the use of science for an industrialist? His use, or the use that science has for him, is that it enables him to put out products in the market in order to rake in a huge profit. So to the industrialist, science is ultimately nothing more than profit. I don't think there is an industrialist, or I don't think there are many industrialists who are really interested in science for the sake of science. The corporate interest in science is for the sake of mega profit. You ask a university professor, he would say science is a wonderful thing. The future of humanity will be decided by science. And science is the only thing that can evolve solutions for the problems of humanity. But end of the day, the professor or the professor's excitement about science may only be because that is the source of his livelihood. If he is to earn a monthly salary, he has to teach science, and in order to teach science, he has to be excited about science. So, end of the day, science may mean to a college or university professor in science not a great deal more than livelihood. If you have seen magicians, those who perform magical tricks, surely you know that some of them use science. Not every aspect of science, but certain tricks are based on science. So to them, you ask them what is the value of science. If they're honest, they will tell you, well, science helps me to sustain certain illusions, enables me to cheat others so that I can make my livelihood. So science means many things to many people. Now ask politicians. Every government, the state is interested in science. But what is the interest the state has in science? Science becomes a servant of the state. In fact, the more science progresses, science and technology, the state is more interested in technology than in science. The more technology progresses, the greater becomes the control of the state on people. And also, it contributes the might of the state. For example, you evolve more and more powerful weapons of destruction, including weapons of mass destruction. You go into Star Wars. You produce more sophisticated and deadly weapons. Then, of course, there is the technology for human control, technology for propaganda and misinformation, so on and so forth. So science is good news to politicians, particularly the manipulators of the state, because it intensifies state power exponentially. So ask the rulers of a country, they'll say Science is a wonderful thing because it enables us to be more and more powerful and more pervasive in our invasion of the life of the people. We can control the population, our people better. In other words, we can enslave citizens more effectively with the help of science. So science means a variety of things to an assortment of people. The same thing, and that's where I'm now coming to religion. The same thing is true of religion. Religion means different things to different people. Ask an ordinary person who is in the midst of the struggle of life, a person burdened with the many problems, difficulties of life, limitations, deprivations, unpredictabilities in the form of disease, misfortune, so on and so forth. People languishing in insecurity. You ask them what religion means to them or God means to them. They would say that God is my refuge. I am helpless. So I would like to understand God as my refuge. That's how God is presented in the Old Testament, because the Jews were living through a period of great insecurity in those days. Life on planet Earth is always plagued with insecurity, and therefore the idea that God is our refuge is very, very dear to all of us. So that's one possibility. Ask a politician who wants to control the people. As Aristotle said 2,400 years ago, that every dictator in this world would like to present himself as extra religious and very pious, because he says, if the people of a country perceive their ruler as very pious, they would assume that he is naturally very just, and therefore he can do no wrong. Secondly, religion enables politicians or rulers to create an enduring foundation for their power. And if people perceive that a ruler is very God-fearing, they would hesitate 100 times before they enter into a rebellious reaction to him. So religion is good news for the dictators of the world. Every dictator or every potential dictator will also showcase himself as very pious. So the dictator would say religion is a wonderful thing, right? Or I go for dictators. There may be very few in this world. Look at politicians. Look at the cynical use they make of religion, religious vote banks. So if you ask such mean-minded politicians, they would say religion is the best news for us because it enables us to gain votes without providing good governance. That's the use of religion, right? Ask some people who want to attain certain goals without having to work for it, those who have a miraculous outlook on life. For example, you are a student, you don't want to work very hard or work consistently through the year, study, but you want to score out of the world grades, so you pray. As you go into the examination hall, before you write the examination, you pray most fervently, but you don't pray on other occasions. You pray exactly before you write the examination because you believe that God can be fooled into being favorable to you, and therefore you will write excellent answers far in excess of the work you have put in, and therefore you will gain magical results. So ask such people, I'm just taking one example out of many, they will say religion is a wonderful thing because it's full of magic, miracles and magic, right? Ask a priest, what does religion mean to you? He will say excellent control of the people. I enjoy unquestioned authority. I am a king without a crown. I'm respected, I'm rewarded, and I'm beyond all questioning. I don't have to answer for anything that I do. And of course, this is 10 times multiplied in the case of a bishop, as you know. So, religion also means various things to various people. That's why Jesus gave us a particular understanding as to what religion is. He said, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. So, to Jesus, religion is seeking. Seeking what? Not seeking personal gains, not seeking unmerited favors and good fortune, not seeking seats of eminence and positions of profit and power. Seek God's justice. That is a religion. And when you seek justice and God's righteousness and the kingdom of God, then what happens? You enter into life in all its fullness. So Jesus said, I've come that they may have life and life in all its fullness. That, my friends, is religion. I hope it's understood as such sooner than later. Have a wonderful day.